Welcome to this special edition of Ask Earl Anything. And first things first, I have a special announcement to announce. That's why I'm doing this special second Ask Earl Anything in the month of January 2023. The first announcement is I will be on Drum History Podcast today with Bart Vanderzee. Bart Vanderzee. I will be on his show talking about the history of drum magazines in the US and the UK. It's going to be a lot of fun. I'm looking forward to getting your feedback about the show and about the podcast and being on with Bart. This is quite an honor to me to be on a show that so many of my favorite great drummers have been on, and I've talked about the history of drums. I love the show. If you don't subscribe to this podcast, subscribe to this podcast. I mean, there's an episode on Paiste cymbals, and there's one on Zildjian cymbals, and there's one on Sabian cymbals, there's one on Ludwig drums and Slingerland drums and Rogers drums, and a myriad of others. And what brought me to the show was I made an episode of a drum talk about magazines, drum magazines, my favorite drum magazines. So we explore that, and Bart and I have a great conversation about the drum magazines that I talked about on that show. It's not the same show. It's not going to be historical, just following the line. We're going to have a flow and a conversation. I'm really looking forward to see what he did with it. But I know it's going to be an exciting show. We talk about all the drum magazines, no holds bar about that. So any of you that know me and my position on some things about drum magazines, we get into some of that. So I recommend you take an opportunity to download this podcast on your favorite podcast format. I believe mine is Apple Podcasts, but you can also watch it on YouTube, and there will be a link in this video to Drum History Podcast. So you can see this episode of Drum History Podcast with me, Earl the Hammer Bennett. So can you believe it? I guess I've made the big time now. So thank you all my subscribers who follow me and watch me and give me some credibility here on the internet, because anybody can talk about anything, we all know, but you guys have given me credibility. And the fact I know I have credibility is because you watch this show and you love this show. So this is a special second edition of Ask Earl Anything for the month of January. Now, I've got three questions that came in the end of December, and I slipped my January 1st show in. So I did the show before January 1st. I think I released it on January 2nd, and I had an hour-long show of Ask Earl Anything. I couldn't put these three questions in, so we're going to cover these three questions. So here are the three questions. Let's start with number one. The first question comes from a longtime subscriber, fan, been part of the drum community, has finally gone out on his own. A big shout out to Brian Drums. It took him a while to come out of the shell and actually go out there and start making videos of himself, and now he's even making covers. I'm proud of you, Brian. Keep on doing it. You're a good drummer, too. I would have never known that until I saw you play some drums on YouTube. So getting to hear you has been an honor for me. So you ask a question. Here's the question for the next Ask Earl Anything. I see that you're using all Evans heads as your drum heads. I thought you were a Remo guy. Have you decided to change, or are you just testing them out? Okay, Brian, great question. I am not a Remo. I am not an Aquarian. I am not an Attack, and I am not an Evans guy. I buy drum heads like all of you. Now, I got a great opportunity to buy these heads this summer. I'm not going to get into that, but let's just say I did. I am trying out the UV1s. I love them. They sound awesome. We will be playing some. I am recording this through Logic today, so hopefully you will get to hear the sound of these drums today. I've got a question where I have to demonstrate something, so we're going to put that in there and we're going to show you demonstration. But I love these UV1 heads, but I'm still playing my Remo pinstripes on the concert com kit right in that room. You know, if Evans wanted to endorse me or wanted me to endorse their heads, if let's look at it that way, I would love to do that. But I play the heads I want to play. I play the sticks I want to play. I've also been trying out some ProMark sticks. They go together, by the way. Evans and ProMark go together. Like them a lot. The next go round on these, I will definitely be buying the regular 5As, not the rebounds. But I've been trying the rebound 5As. I'm actually getting more used to them every day, and I'm using them more often. It was a deal I couldn't pass up, an opportunity I couldn't pass up, so I gave it a shot. I don't know if I would have tried the UV1s. I've been a user of the G2s. I love them. They're on my little Gretsch kit, my little maple Gretsch kit, 18, 10, 12, 14 by 14 that I take out on the road or I take out in town when I'm bringing around town. I love those heads. I've used hydraulic heads, Evans hydraulic heads for years, different times. I have a set of those I put on every once in a while. I haven't found a snare head I really love of Evans because I'm a under the dot snare head guy. I like the Remo CS head, but I think if they did a UV1 with a dot, it might be kind of interesting, to be honest. The UV1's got an interesting coating way it puts the coating on. It's only on the top and it goes right to the rim, and then you see the actual mylar plastic. So the coating is just in this big circle that's on the head. It's almost kind of like the DW Remo heads they did for a while, except for DW put that like rim around it. So you had like a coated rim, and then you had a clear center. Well, this has got more of a clear outer, or actually not a clear, but it's like a white outer, white mylar outer with the white coated. Like them a lot, UV1s. UV2s are probably double the feel, thicker head. G2s are double ply head, so it's thicker head. But I really like the UV1. I got a UV1 on the kick drum. For the last couple years, I've been using an Evans 56 on the kick drum, EMAD, and that sounded amazing. I should try the Evans 56 on a snare to get more of that calf-like sound. But truthfully, synthetic calf isn't really calf. I know that because I've used fiber skins, I've used Renaissance Emperors, Renaissance Ambassadors, fiber skin 2s, fiber skin 3s. I've even used the Aquarian, vintage Aquarian heads, which are kind of calf-like. None of them really come close to that, but I will equate the Evans 56 closer to the fiber skin 2s I used to play, the way that the head is made. Possibly the fiber skin 3s too, but the fiber skin 2s were more a laminate kind of thing. It was kind of interesting, but this UV1 on the kick sounds great, so fan of that. Thanks for the question, Brian. But I am not endorsed by anybody, and I don't endorse anything. I use whatever I want to use, cymbals, drums, etc. I buy everything. So except for DMR custom snare drums, which I endorsed their drums, and I have 2 drums in my name. One is a cast aluminum DMR. It's black. You guys see it in videos occasionally. It's got die-cast hoops. It's cast aluminum, 3 mil, 5 mil top. It's very much like the Gretsch cast aluminum shell, except for it's powder-coated black. Beautiful drum made by Dan Rotelli at DMR Custom Drums over 13 years ago for me, with Dunnet throw-offs on it. And the other one is my walnut, DMR walnut drum, which is solid walnut shell with solid walnut reinforcing hoops. 8 lugs. It looks like a Radio King, but it's not. It's got straight edge hoops on it now. I took the die cast off. One of the die cast hoops from that drum is on this acrylite right here. So anyhow, it's a little bit of history of the only thing I've ever endorsed was DMR Custom Drums. I guess you could say playing Gretsch all these years, I'm an endorser of Gretsch, but they're not giving me anything either. So let's not go there or getting any discounts. My next question comes from Jay Metz, Jeff, my friend Jeff, and he said, another Steely Dan tune I never heard. Question for Ask Earl Anything, can you side by side with the 20-inch Giant Beat and the 505, but not in a recording, just in a raw A-B comparison? All right, Jeff, this is for you. Here's my 20-inch Giant Beat. The 20-inch Giant Beat is 1820 grams. 1,820 grams of Giant Beat multi-love right here. And this one, my 505 from Germany in the 70s, Danny Gottlieb 505. By the way, I've been playing a lot more. Is a 20-inch 505 from Germany. Danny Gottlieb's signature. It is 1815 grams, 1,815 grams. It's got Danny's signatures on it. I bought this at Maxwell Drums in 2000. I think it was 2013. Anyhow, I don't know if Danny ever played it on a record or if he played it in the studio, but it was part of his collection. He had another 20-inch Paiste 2002 that I didn't like as much as this 505 that day. And by the way, for a couple years there, this has been my go-to 20. But something's happened the last month where I want to actually play these cymbals. So I'm going to give you a comparison. This is the 20 giant beat. And this is the 20 505 Black Label, Danny Gottlieb. It's like mycymbal.com, isn't it? Okay, now let me say one thing. The Giant Beat Multi is a multi-purpose use cymbal, so riding on it sounds pretty good. I've tried to use this as a ride, the 505. I don't like it as a ride. Now, one of the things I do when I'm practicing in the studio is I wear hearing protection. This is the special extra answer to a question nobody asked, but I thought I would give you my safety head. So my day job is safety director of a civil engineering company or an engineering company. And whenever I practice in here, instead of hitting cymbals like this, because the high end does get into my ears, one of the things I do is I practice with these muffs on. So I'm going to play a little groove using this as a ride cymbal. And I'll use this as a ride cymbal so you can get it. I'll give you a little taste of the 505 as a ride cymbal. So, you decide. Let me know what you think is the better ride cymbal. My choice has always been this Giant Beat Paiste Multi-Giant Beat Paiste Giant Beat Multi 20-inch ride crash cymbal. I think it's a good both. This just doesn't really cut it as a ride for me, but I've used this on gigs as the lone ride cymbal on a gig. So it can work. Anyhow, Jeff, that's the comparison. You tell me what you think. My next question comes from Mickey F, and Mickey F is asking a question based on the song This Time It's Real, the Tower of Power. And there's a fill I play at 138, and he says, can you demonstrate the fill at 138? All right. That's my last question too, by the way. So I'm going to put the iPad down. The fill at 138 was something like this. Five-stroke roll. It's a cheater five-stroke roll, I call it. It's something I picked up from Buddy Rich and Danny Seraphin and a bunch of other guys that do that lick. It's basically a, but it comes off. The interesting thing, it's a quasi 5-stroke roll, but I've been told it's a 6-stroke roll because I think I do a single. Anyhow, I'm pretty sure that was the lick, you know. If I'm gonna play, I do like both of them on. Becomes a 6-stroke when I do that thing when I add the foot. And it's kind of like a Gad thing, but I don't play it like Gad plays it because he plays it a little differently the way he sticks it. You know, I've learned my rudiments on the drum kit my own way. And it's by me trying to sound like the record sounded. So I've kind of learned licks the wrong way. And then I started watching the internet and I watch guys break them down and I go, yeah, that sounds right. It sounds right what they're doing, but I can't play it the way they play it. And that's one of them where Dad. It's kind of like a lick he uses in Asia. And I kind of copped it, but I copped it wrong, I think. Because I don't really cop everything right, as you all know. I tend to interpret something and twist it around a little bit. But basically all this stuff comes out of Buddy Rich, Danny Seraphin, Steve Gadd, all those great drummers. I'm just stealing, and it's all singles and doubles. You know? So I hope that helps, Mickey, because I use it all over the place. It's not just something I'll do on toms like that lick. I'll use it. I guess you can tell I wanted to play today a little bit, which I don't do on Ask Earl Anything. That's why I put it in Logic, Remember, I'm going to be on Drum History Podcast with Bart Vanderzee. Watch it. I'm looking forward to it. It's coming out today. When I put this out is the day it comes out, and then it's on there forever, of course, in podcast land, so you can watch it whenever you can. YouTube and on the podcast channel. Everybody, thank you for the questions. Thank you, Jeff. Thank you, Brian. Thank you, Mickey. I hope this turns out okay. Thanks for watching. Remember, your questions make the show. If I don't have questions, I don't have a show. And I need some more questions now for February's show. But you got a couple weeks to do it. Thanks for watching, everybody.